Alright, YouTube, here we are again. We're working on our Trojan stick build, rubber band powered airplane. As you can see, I've already got all our pieces knocked out. Now, I'm going to show you how I do these and how I've been shown how to do these. These are your templates for your wing spars. You notice your wing spar doesn't have the cutout for the ribs at all. You can see the cutout here and the cutout right there. So we need to get these two adhered together so we can get the cutout marked out correctly. So what I do, and what was shown to me, is we just kind of make a couple reference points. So with a nice sharp knife, we just kind of trim the base of this out, careful as you can to keep it as straight as you can, and then down the tail here. So let's see this taken care of. Now the idea is accuracy. I really should be doing this with a straight edge, but I do have my mat, which is nice and handy for making sure my line is actually straight, which it is. So we cut out the bottom right here, and then we're going to cut out this little patch right here, and that's going to give us the front of our spar so we can put it on our piece. So we're going to end up with something that looks kind of goofy, but basically this guy right here. And we get, a note that says W1, so we find our W1 wing spar, and we're just gonna kind of set it there, make sure everything lines up relatively nice, like so. So it does. This is where our stick glue comes in. It sticks really nice to the paper, not so good to the balsa, so we can later take the paper off the balsa to assemble the airplane. So, just kind of carefully line up our lines with the, the piece of balsa. We get everything lined up nice and straight. The good thing is, like I said, use the stick glue, because it'll actually allow you to shift it around on the balsa. So, that's how you do that. Fairly simple. And then the rest of the way, you just trim the rest of your paper out, which should be fairly simple because it's raised and you're just following the lines and the balsa underneath. So that way, you're just ending up with a great cut piece. Take your time, go nice and slow. There's no need to be in a hurry. This is more of an accuracy thing, less of a immediate gratification. If you're not patient, you're going to end up with something that's not right. So, that's how we get it. Now, you notice that we have two number ones and only one frame, or one pattern. So we just line them up, and like so, and we just, you'll notice that this one's actually a bit bigger than this one. Whatever they did, the pattern was a little, the die was a little big, a little different. So just trim that to match, because uniformity is the important part here. So, simple as that. Took off just the tiniest amount of balsa, and now we have a uniform piece. They're identical. So, we're going to do that for all the pieces. And what you end up with is a bunch of pieces that look like that. So here's all of them. I'm just going to show you real quick. So this is going to be one of our frame cross members for our frame. So we do the same deal with this one, but it will actually carefully trim this down. Now, while doing this, again, just, nice and slow, easy movements. Try and keep everything as round and tight and clean as possible to eliminate any messes up. It'll make the plane fly better if everything's uniformed. So, just try and keep everything as uniformed as possible. And go with the paper pattern. The balsa is going to be a press cut, die cut, or, they say laser cut, but I just don't see it. But go with the pattern, because the pattern is going to be what is going to be most accurate. And it'll give you the better uniformity. So if you got a little balsa hanging out over the edge, no big deal. Just trim it off with your hobby knife. A nice sharp hobby knife makes short work of the cleanup on the balsa. And so we'll get that one cleaned up real quick. So we're going to end up with pieces like this. Now we got to get all these individuals cleaned out, because that is where our frame bits go. Let's see if I get them out of the paper. So this guy is actually at some point going to go like that into our little hole. You see how that's... So, we just need to, real quick, like I said, nice sharp hobby knife. Use just the tip. You don't need to get in there with the whole knife. Be patient. Don't use too much pressure. Because again, balsa is really soft, so when you cut at it, it will actually, you could cut the whole piece off in one real simple movement, and then you have to go get a sheet of balsa and make your own piece, which is not necessarily fun. So, alrighty, I think I got it done. There we go. So, finished product is going to look just like that. And then, like I said, this guy actually slots in. And that's going to be our framing for our tissue paper on the outside. So, we're going to do that for all these pieces. I will pause that. I don't think you need to see me do a bunch of little nick cuts. But I'll get them hammered out and I'll be right back with you guys. Give me just a sec. Alright, I'm back. What seemed like seconds to you guys was about an hour's worth of heads down cutting. But I ended up with a bunch of these guys already done. So, this is where our stick glues comes in. It doesn't actually stick to the balsa, so you're able to slowly work it off. So, that's why you got to make sure you use Elmer's, because this stuff actually looks like it's going to be a bit more difficult than I want to deal with. And I'm going to cover it, so I'll probably just leave it on. Call it day. But I know what part it is, because it is labeled. Now, I guess we start the build. I'm not going to do that right now. Like I said, it was a couple hours worth of cutting. I did notice that this is W5, just a wing spar, and it's supposed to be connected. I could not cut it because you look, W5, wing spar, it's supposed to be connected right here. This piece is tiny. Yep, that just broke that one. So basically, I'm going to keep those together, and I'm going to glue them in, and then probably make a glue bridge to get them together. This one here has got this dotted line. They actually tell you to cement another piece of balsa to it. Luckily, we've got lots of scrap, so I can do that. There's a couple pieces that say to do that. Here's another one. G says to cement balsa. So I'm going to do that. And then maybe a little later today I'll start building. But I just don't know quite yet if that's something I'm going to start right now or wait to do. This guy here says, turn it right side up. Focus. Cement B1 here. B1. Just, it's super simple. This is like easy. You expect it to be a bit more difficult. You just gotta be patient. So I'm learning that my patience is not the best. So, thanks for watching. Sorry if it was kind of a lame video. I'm not doing much, I won't lie. But like, subscribe, and comment. Let me know what you guys think. I can't get better if I don't know where I'm screwing up, you know. So, anyway, Speedy Mix signing out.